I'm in the middle of editing some stuff I did with Craig yesterday, or was it the day before? It was the day before, actually. Some funny stuff in there, man. Some of the conversations are just hilarious, man. Like boomer tier conversation. Not so much yelling at a cloud. More like a lot of when back in the day type of things. Like, yeah, when we were young 100 years ago, it was much easier to date women or girls or whatever. It was, though, weird. Like I you know, on the boards a lot, on message boards, particularly Indian basket weaving forums. There's just endless things about dudes that just can't or have never made that connection. And you know, they're young, healthy people that just, the culture has become so warped. Because on the one hand, you have Instagram e-thoughts, you know, putting the goods on display. Yet, in the real world, in the walking around world, if you linger too long with a glance, it's assault. That whole idea may sound a bit boomerish, but it's true to a certain extent. I mean, they have it tough out here. You know, you think the internet would make it easier, but it doesn't. It seems to have made it hard and more, I don't know, superficial. I mean, you could always find a way to make an exchange, you know, via that method, but you know, it's usually just an exchange. It's not easy. I mean, I'm glad that I came up in the time that I did. But yeah, there's some real funny stuff on there. And finally I got around to just getting him on, because he was there when all this stuff kind of kicked off for me in the summer of 2017. You know, still coming into... I'd always kind of been pilled on that sort of whole world. Let me just stop here for a minute. Just kidding. I don't like people like right behind me. I'd always kind of been pilled into the esoteric world, metaphysical science, the occult, things like that. I always had an interest in that as at a hobbyist level. I was never like a practitioner, and I'm still not. But the awakening thing that a lot of people have gone through over the past decade, with just coming to understand that there is a spiritual battle going on that you don't see with your eyes, but it's so happening, it's very real, and it determines a lot of what's happening in front of your eyes. You know, as time goes on, it's like, it's becoming more clear, to me anyway, that we are kind of in that stage. Well, I don't think there's a lot of debate about that. We're in that stage where Satan is kind of controlling the board, and has been for a while. This whole Israel thing, I have to touch on. I feel compelled to touch on as a spiritual war correspondent. This is a very big part of that. So I you know, here's the deal with that, and not a lot of people are going to have this take, or if they do, they're probably not going to say it. But the situation there is this: they need that third temple. They need that third temple built so that they can go into what they believe is going to be another end times reset type of situation. They can't have Palestine there, though, for this to happen. That's a whole thing there that you have to look at yourself. But they need that area reunified under their own state. They have to transform that whole area. And you know what? That's exactly what Netanyahu said yesterday. Or was it the day before? I don't know. Time is whatever. He said that what they're going to do now is transform the Middle East because of what happened with the Hamas attacks, because some guys came in on Ewok gliders, allegedly, and did all this stuff. And people say, well, haven't you seen the videos? It's like, yeah, I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos. There's a lot of videos out there It doesn't mean anything. They were in a situation where they had to move the timeline along, or their timeline. I'll never forget this. Netanyahu was giving a speech somewhere, and it's probably still on YouTube. You can probably find it. But where after he came off the podium there to give his little thing, he was surrounded by these rabbis, the serious dudes, the ones that wear the square on the head. And they're talking to him, and this is all, being filmed, right? And like, we need things to hurry up a little bit, how are we doing getting the Messiah back? Like basically saying that. I think that the feeling is they're old as fuck, and they kind of want to see it in their lifetime. So what they were trying to tell Netanyahu is kind of move things along, get it to the stage where their Messiah can come back, and their Messiah is not fucking my Messiah, I'll tell you that. But anyway, he's not a lot of your Messiahs, So they need to build that third temple. So to build the third temple, they need to transform the Middle East. So Hamas, just for some reason, just out of nowhere, decided this was the time to strike. And they were going to come in on Ewok gliders and attack a music festival. That's all they needed to have happen for them to respond now. The response was the point, and now the response is, well, now we got to transform this whole Middle East thing. We got to redraw the map. And once they do that, then they can build their little temple, and then they can move into the next phase. And that's it. That's it. It's funny that because days before I did this video, I think it was titled "We Need Better Psyops" or "I Want Better Psyops." They served me up one pretty quick, because this is indeed a better psyop in the sense that it's a lot bigger, a lot more work went into it, and it's a bit more convincing. I mean, people are absolutely convinced that this is all happening and this is all real and organic, and you might think that if you're stupid, but I'll be back later. I'm always back later, like HPV. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.